Last year, the same assembly wanted to impeach this governor because of what they called incompetence. Now, months later, do they have a proper reason now to impeach the governor?
Thank you, and we greet all our viewers wherever they are. I think if you look at what has happened with the transfer of functions from the Nairobi County government.
They're insisting it's not a transfer of functions.
It is a transfer of functions, and I think that is it's not prohibited by the Constitution, neither is it prohibited by the Urban Areas and Cities Act. So to that extent, he is within the law to transfer some of the functions. But coming to your question, whether there are merits to the impeachment of Governor Sakaja, I think he's displayed his incompetence or incompetency by saying, I'm unable to handle ABCD. Actually, I think there are about 10 areas that he's unable to do, and hence he's seeking for support from the national government. To that extent, then they are okay to say you're unable to perform your functions and therefore we can impeach you. But saying it is not allowed within the law, it is allowed within the law. Even to an extent that the resources are located, and I think Wakil is here and looking at Article 187, all these things that Wakil is saying are there in the Constitution. They're allowed. But only one constitutional procedure was not adhered to, and that is public participation.
Yes.
And that brings the whole thing null and void. Otherwise, I think if you look at that particular article, it is allowed and he's within his right as a governor to say, I'm unable to do ABCD. And because we are in the bigger agenda of ensuring that our people or the constituents of Nairobi County gets value for their money, are able to access the services that they elected us for, then he's able to do that. And it is allowed for him to say, I'm unable and people need services. And therefore, let me seek for help.
And admit failure.
And admit failure.
This is the second
publicly.
time it's happening in this county. Are we saying that probably Nairobi is a special county and probably the consideration for this in as far as management should be different? That probably this was designed to fail from the word go?
It wasn't designed to fail. Unfortunately, let me look at it with a leadership lens that it is our failure as voters to pick good leaders. We don't just pick because now the most popular party has brought in Rachael as a candidate. So let us vet our leaders. And I hope this is a wake-up call to all of us, because this is not just isolated in Nairobi. We look at other counties. They may not have ceded some of their functions to the national government, but then they are equally unable to perform their functions. So I think it's a wake-up call to us as Kenyans that can we elect leaders who know why they are pushing themselves into these public offices. Let us not just elect leaders because they're in most popular parties within that particular area. I think to this, the Nairobi County Assembly, they are right to say if the governor is unable to function or to perform his functions, then we are right to get someone else who can do that.
Yes.
But then again, the governor never even consulted the Assembly. In the first place, and say, I think that where we are now...
They are justified in feeling that aggrieved,
yes,
that you did not even talk to us.
I think because it is in our interest as a county assembly or the county government of Nairobi that we give value for money to our citizens or to our electorate. But then, what do? I'm unable to do ABCD because I don't think if some of these things that Sakaja highlighted, like street lighting, he's unable to do those things. I don't think that is something that you need to take back to the solid waste management. I don't think if those are issues that you really need to take back to national government to help you manage.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely admission of failure on his part.
Mwalimu Sosion, of course, it is provided for, and Wakili has quoted parts of the Constitution, the Urban Areas and Cities Act. It is provided for cooperation, even transfer of functions. But there are those who argue that this is a clawback on devolution, that if we get to a point where we feel that the county governments are not even able to handle the few functions that they were given, and now they're taking them back to the national government for whatever reason. That's a clawback 15 years later.
Yeah, I think we've got to be very fair in our arguments and